Good morning, all. Myself Chandra. In our today's session, we are going to discuss about Anypoint Exchange. We will make a few changes to our API specification, and then we are going to publish the API to an Anypoint Exchange. So Anypoint Exchange is the storage point for an organization where we can have all the API specifications and examples, API fragments, templates, everything published into a Anypoint Exchange. And we can share these assets with other developers, or we can provide an access, and also we can share these assets with the public, and also we can share the assets to an external organization privately. We are going to make some changes to our API specification. For that, log into Anypoint platform. Within Design Center, we have to select our API specification. So in our previous sessions, we have created HPT suppliers API as the API specification. And there was one more project like it is a Mule application. So we are going to make changes in our suppliers API specification. And within our API specification, we have this resource type. So I'm removing these resource types since we are going to refer from the library. And also for get trades, for get suppliers information, instead of providing none, I'm going to use get suppliers trades, and post trades I'm leaving blank. Resource name I'm going to name it as supplier, and we are going to remove this commented code. And also instead of having this suppliers information separately, I'm going to make a change to have the suppliers, and the below line of codes I'm going to remove for get and post methods. Now, by using these resource type methods, we are referring get and post methods. Now we have removed the duplicate lines of code. And now I am also going to make one more change. I am removing these get suppliers type and also post suppliers type. And I am using this get suppliers resource and renaming it to capital S post suppliers. And here we have the information. For get rights, we need to pass information of get suppliers rights. And post rights, it is not needed. And we have a resource name suppliers. So instead of providing S as small, provide it as capital S. And whenever we are providing the information, we need to mention what kind of details it is going to represent it. So I'm going to make few more changes in library.raml, and within library.raml, I'm adding the response codes 400 and 401 and returning a message like bad request and unauthorized user. And in our post method also add a response body, which will return the response, post response, and also with example. Save the changes. And here we also need to provide another details. So post response example is one. For our post response example, use a include keyword, and within examples, we have post response example, add it. And we are having some errors. Let us verify. Unresolved reference post suppliers response. Okay, we have added a type post response suppliers, so we need to refer that. Use this post suppliers response, and we need to refer suppliers response data type. Our response type is resource message type. So I am adding it post supplier response. And the errors are resolved now. Verify the information for get and post. So we have added post suppliers response, and also we are now referring this get suppliers and post suppliers with supplier data type object, and also post suppliers is the object. And also we have added the new response for post method, and we are adding the resource name as post suppliers, and this resource name we are going to use for the types, because within library we are referring the resource name for post and as well get methods. And we also have added this response codes in get method, and for post method we have added the responses and body. Once changes are done, verify all the resource and methods, and if we are happy with our changes, then we can publish this API to Anypoint Exchange. For that, we have an option on the top right corner, publish. Click on publish. And we need to provide the asset version and also API version. And here we have two options like stable and development. So if it is still in the development phase, we have to choose development. And if we are happy and consumers are ready to consume this API, then we can provide the application state as stable. I'm selecting development lifecycle state and click on publish to exchange. Here we can choose whether we wanted to include all the files within the API, or if there are any unreferenced files, then we can exclude them. So if we are going to check this option, it will publish all the files irrespective of whether we are using them within the main YAML or not. I'm going to publish. Our API is published to Exchange. So from here, we can go to Exchange, or we can even open it from the main menu. So close it. And within the Anypoint Exchange, we will verify. So within our Anypoint Exchange, we can see that there is an asset HPT suppliers API, and we can also see it is an V1 version private. So here we can see the asset version, and lifecycle state is development. And if we wanted to make it or change the state, then we can choose it by clicking on the down arrow. So we can select the lifecycle state, and we can add the documentation for the API. What is it going to represent? And we can also see what are the resources that are available within this API by choosing a summary. Close this. And whatever that we have performed within the mock services in the Anypoint Design Center, we can also perform the activities within the Anypoint Exchange assets. So we can test these APIs, and it will provide the URLs, mock URLs, and it will provide all the details like request responses. Since we have added request bodies and response bodies with the different types of codes, so it is providing all the information. In this way, Anypoint Exchange will be useful for publishing the APIs and storing it as assets. Whether it is a API template project or API fragments. So all of the components we can publish to Anypoint Exchange, and Main purpose is that we can share the assets with the different developers within the organization so that they can directly come and verify and they can reuse the assets. And to know that what is the documentation for the API, they can always go and verify this documentation. Here they can check for the resources and all. And if we wanted to share this information for particular developers or particular team members, we can choose by using share. And here we can mention who can have all the access. So by defaultly, whoever is having the exchange contributor or exchange administrator's role, they can access this exchange and they can verify the assets. So I'm going to back to assets list. And here we can see that the assets are defined as per the organization and also by default provided by Mulesoft and shared with me. We have three different sections. So as of now, our organization is SPT and we can see only one asset is available within the organization. And whoever is having the access to the exchange, they can see all of this information. We will share this to public now. So for that, go to public tab and here we can check the version, which version we wanted to make public. Click on save. So once the changes are saved, go back to assets list and here open the public portal. In our public portal, we can always edit the content and also the background and logos, everything. And as of now, we cannot see any assets published into our public portal. So for that, we need to make a small change in the asset. So whenever it is in the lifecycle state of development, these assets cannot be published to us. These assets cannot be shared with public. So for that, we need to make the APIs to be stable first. That means all the implementation and everything is ready and consumers are ready for invoking the API. So in at that point of time only, we will make the asset as a stable and go back to Anypoint Exchange public portal. Here, refresh the page. Now we can see that the HPT suppliers API is available in public portal. Now I'm going to make a small changes, go to customize, and from customize, we can verify what can be the logo and background, and also we can provide the information. I'm going to choose the files and we can edit the information. Welcome to Human Brains Developer Portal. Done editing. Yes, publish. So now we can see the logo and assets information. Copy this information or go to this asset, and with this asset information, you can always go and verify in other browser without logging into Anypoint platform. Copy this URL and open in another browser. And here we can see that this HTTP suppliers API information is available without logging into the Anypoint platform. So you can open a browser which you are not already logged in into Anypoint platform. We can also see what are the types available. So in this way, we can share our applications or assets to other developers who are able to access it publicly, and they can access it publicly. So go back to assets here. And as of now, one asset is available public. And if you want to make this from public to private, we can remove the permissions here. So we can remove these permissions. We can also share these assets to other organizations when we wanted to collaborate with them. So for that, first we need to go into access management, and from access management, we have to register the organization domain. So go to external access, and within external access, we have a domain name here, HPT5. Likewise, we will have a domain of other organization. So for that, I am opening other account and I am going to add that organization. So this is the other account which is having HPT3. Here I am going to add the organization 5, HPT5. Now HPT5 organization is added into HPT3, and we also need to add HPT3 into our HPT5 organization and add the organization domain name here. So I am going to Anypoint Exchange, and from Anypoint Exchange, I am going to share this asset to other organization. For that, select the asset and click on share. And here we can search for the user and teams. So I'm going to verify HPT, and we can see that it is an external organization, and HPT5 is a internal organization and HPT3 is the external organization. Select this organization, save the changes. Now we will go and verify in the other account HPT3. HPT3 account, go to Anypoint Exchange, and within Anypoint Exchange, click on the Shared with Me tab. And here we can see that HPT suppliers API is now accessible in other account as well. I am going to remove the permission and we will verify with the applications. Now from HPT5, remove this permission. Save. Refresh the page. And within HPT3 account, we are not able to see any of the applications within the Shared with Me tab. To any. So in this way, we can publish our APIs or assets to Anypoint Exchange, and we can share this information to public, also private users, and also we can share these assets between organizations as well. So one of the important use of publishing the REST APIs or API specifications and assets to a exchange is the stakeholders are business users and also peer reviewers. They can access the assets and they can review the information, and also they can provide a feedback immediately once it is available. So before we develop our API implementation, we are going to publish the assets to Exchange and we will ask for the peer review, so that if there are any changes in the API specification that we need, we can do it immediately at the design phase itself. So all this, like creating an API specification and publishing to assets and providing a feedback within the Anypoint Exchange, getting it from the peer reviewer, it is all part of design APIs phase. And next, once we get the reviews and we have made some more changes to the API specification, then we can do the actual implementation. If there are no reviews or feedback, then we can work on the API specification that is available, and we can do the actual implementation by using Anypoint Studio. That we will see how we can link the API implementation and RAML or API specification. And also we can create a new project by referring the RAML as well. That we will see in our next session. Thank you.